So I'm pretty sure everyone knows the story of Dana Alotaibi by now. This is a ex-Marine wife who met a very unfortunate end at the side of a Hawaii highway. She was stabbed multiple times. She was 3 months pregnant. She was killed by her now ex-husband. It's just a terrible situation all in all. In my last video, I used this tragedy to push one of the main points that I wanted to get through to our women in today's world. If you are a sex worker, or if you have a job that's a little bit more risky, I want you to have a little bit more situational awareness. I'm not knocking your hustle. You do whatever you want to do. That's up to you. But I want you to be a little bit safer about the way that you're moving. You cannot count on the people in this world, especially in 2022, to have your best interest in mind. It's a crazy place out here. I hope you guys got that message. If you didn't catch the last video, check it out. I want you to see it. But today, I am going to be bringing forth even more charges against Hawaii's favorite sea urchin. I am talking about Mr. Bryant Tejada Castillo, the alleged murderer of Miss Dana Alotaibi. And here's the thing about it. A lot of these charges that I'm going to give him today, I believe that they are largely responsible for what happened. And the scary part about this is that a lot of men are guilty of very similar charges that I'm going to bring up today. And it leads to more situations where we have young women getting hurt, or we have young men getting hurt unnecessarily. Me personally, I'm sick and tired of it. That's why I'm here now. So, Mr. Bryant Tejada Castillo, your first and most egregious charge that I will place upon you right here, right now, is a first-degree charge in being a coward on 4 counts. Count number 1, you thought killing a pregnant woman would be a solution to your problems. Okay, so I know that there is a big stigmatization about a lot of domestic violence and stuff like that in the military, and it is for good reason. It is for good reason. Some crazy stuff happens. It's an extremely stressful environment, and egos clash, people clash. But under no circumstances whatsoever is it ever okay for you to put hands on your woman. That's crazy. That is crazy, man. That's one of the most cowardly things that you can do, to be honest, because that's like you had no control over the situation. So you kind of just threw a temper tantrum or a hissy fit, and you used your physicality against this woman. And that's just completely outrageous. It's extremely, extremely cowardly. That under no circumstance should you ever put your hands on a woman. If you're in the military, men, if you have a situation, a domestic dispute where, you know, a woman is coming, maybe she's swinging at you or she's coming at you, you need to take out your phone and begin recording immediately, because it may save your life, and vice versa for ladies, it may save your life. You take out your phone and you begin recording immediately, and you get the authorities, you get law enforcement and stuff like that to come break that up, because you don't need any kind of domestic violence cases, domestic violence situations. That is extremely, extremely dangerous, a very dangerous way to live. So from the Marine Corps Times, the page, it says, Marine Corps officials confirmed, however, that Tejada Castillo's command was aware of the allegations made against him and had been actively addressing them. There were multiple instances where the military police at Marine Corps Base Hawaii and Honolulu Police Department responded to domestic disputes both on Marine Corps Base Hawaii and off base. So this is where this second count comes in. Domestic violence, in my opinion, I don't believe it always starts out with a man stabbing a woman or a woman punching a man and stuff like that. It's going to start out with an argument that really, really gets out of control, and two people that don't know how to handle this argument whatsoever. And that usually happens off of the basis of neither individual respecting the other. And once you reach that point in a relationship, as a man, I say that it is your job to get the heck out of there. It is not always easy. But if you recognize that you are not respected in your relationship anymore, man or woman, it's about time for you to go. You have to go, especially if your arguments are getting more volatile, if things are being thrown and stuff like that. That's no. How can you raise children in a home like that? How can you raise children in a home like that? How can you go out in the world and work or do whatever you do and come back to your supposed sanctuary and experience something like that? You can't live that way. I'm telling you not to live that way, man or woman. Young Marines, I hope you're listening to me. Leave that situation completely because life is too short. And now the third count of first-degree cowardice by Mr. Castillo. He's a coward because this man killed a woman. He threw his life away for a woman that wanted nothing to do with him anymore. She was just borderline flagrant. She was borderline flagrant, and we'll get into count number 4 on proving that she did not even really want to be with him and she didn't respect him. So not only are you throwing your life away, you're throwing your life away for an individual that, from my perspective, did not like you very much. All the women in the world, you decide to throw a temper tantrum, go into like blind rage and stab up this chick. And now you're not going to have any more freaking women. You're going to be in prison with, Jerome or Zach or whoever else is in prison. And those are going to have to be your new girlfriends. Congratulations. You played yourself. You really freaking played yourself by letting your emotions get the best of you. Count number 4 for first-degree cowardice by Mr. Castillo is based upon the fact that he allowed his relationship to get to a point where his woman didn't even respect him anymore. As a matter of fact, I'm not even sure if she ever respected him. My intel has told me to go over to her TikTok. We're going to do that now. We are on the TikTok page. Let's go ahead and scroll to the bottom of this. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, so this is a married woman, keep in mind. I mean, I'm just seeing like a lot of cheeks and stuff. Like, what is it? She says she's been married 3 years. Once again, rest in peace to Dana, bless her soul and all that stuff. But I think it's obvious that you may have not been her priority in life, my dude. You may have not been respected that much. Like, I know that some of the things that were posted could have enraged him and sent him over the edge. All mine. Shut him with this get paid, get money. But that's absolutely no excuse to go off and do what you did. So at the end of the day, you are a coward. I mean, it got to a point where she respected this man so little that she was just trolling him online. I got to be very careful what I click on this TikTok here. Jesus Christ. I mean, I guess they were married. They got a great value meat meal in between the legs and stuff like that. You got some crazy stuff going on here. Maybe we need to go back further, see something better. Okay, that's pretty tough. That's pretty tough to see. That's pretty tough to see. I'm not gonna lie to you. But you know what? If a woman really respects you, if you come into that relationship demanding the respect that you believe you deserve, and that comes from a place of self-love, if you do that, there's no way a woman can even think she's, gonna be cool with doing stuff like this. This guy was getting absolutely trolled. I guarantee you, he's thinking right now, like, oh, I can have an insanity plea. I got pushed to the edge.
In Hawaii, rent-free. Oh, rah. Thanks, taxpayers. I get to live my best life in Hawaii, rent-free.
Man, it's a bad time to be on TikTok and a taxpayer, man. It's not easy. You know what? Like, that's pretty sad. That is pretty sad. You are not respected whatsoever. And at the end of the day, I'm going to blame the same people I've always blamed. Weak men. Weak men. Because you tolerated this. You allowed this to happen in your relationship. Yes, she has her own, lifestyle. She does her own thing. But that doesn't have to involve just disrespecting you and supposedly pushing you to an edge. At the end of the day, it's your fault. It's your fault if your woman doesn't respect you. I mean that in a way like this. If you're with a woman that doesn't respect you and you're a man and you choose to stay with her, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. It's your fault that you let it get to that point because you've made it obvious that you're not going anywhere. You've made it obvious that you respect yourself so little that you'll stay in disrespectful situationships, relationships, or whatever and not leave. And I'm putting that on you. That's your fourth count of being a coward, first degree. Let's move on into your next charge. Mr. Castillo, your next charge is a first degree charge of being an idiot, of being a dumbass. So number one, you thought it was a good idea to wife a sex worker who was very honest about her intentions in the beginning and bring her on base, and then you thought everything was going to be happy-go-lucky in your life. That is your first charge of being an idiot. I'm willing to bet my entire life that he's heard the phrase, don't marry a stripper, at least one time in his military career. It's a little run-of-the-mill joke, but there is truth to it, because there are some men who can have porn star girlfriends or something like that. They don't mind if she's going out and getting railed by other people and coming home, or they don't mind if their woman is dancing on top of other people, or they don't mind if their woman is putting her private parts online. Hey, that's them. That's their thing. But I tell you what, that is not for the faint of heart, and that's not for most people in the military. I don't care what freaking, society's told you. That's not for most people in the military because of this. It's very, very different. In the military, you're surrounded by so many other men, and you're constantly being evaluated against and compared to these other men that it gets very, very competitive. And I know in the Marine Corps, they're supposed to have these monthly formal counselings where you take your little underlings that are under your wings and you say, hey, little guy, how about you don't buy that freaking Charger at 16% APR? They're going to go out and do it anyways, but it's your job as that NCO or leader to at least recommend that they do otherwise. You're supposed to counsel them on their finances, their family situation, their relationship status and stuff. Maybe their motivations for how they perform at work, everything. They have a good mentoring program. If you actually do it, it encompasses everything. And here's his situation. This is what Mr. Castillo definitely ran into, right? So I've always been, 6'4" peanut butter complexion. I just always have been. I've always been like this. And I remember being a Lance Corporal, and then my corporal is counseling me. And, it's like, yeah, I guess I respect you. I definitely respect your rank. But you know what? I guess I'm gonna respect you. I don't know what you have going on in your life, but for this hour that we're talking, or however long that we're talking, I'm gonna pretend that you know everything that you're talking about. That we're just gonna have this unspoken rule that you know what you're talking about in this instance, and you're doing your best to help me. It's gonna be very hard, or I know it was very hard for Mr. Castillo to do that. Because how the hell are you going to be able to counsel somebody on, their relationship status? If I'm a PFC and he's trying to counsel me about relationships, but I can see his wife's, butthole for $4.99 online, I'm not going to respect him as much. That's reality. Once again, don't forget this channel is based on reality. I'm just being real. I guarantee you, even if his coworkers weren't saying anything out loud or people weren't, picking at him, they were looking at him a little bit differently based on the way that his woman was moving around base. So anytime that you have something like that going on, it's only natural that you can't really respect the man as much. So I know that hurt his self-esteem, that piled more bricks on top of his load that he was already carrying. But at the end of the day, whose fault is that? Did you really think that it was just going to be sunshine and rainbows going out and marrying this Onlyfans model who may have had like mental issues and drug issues and stuff like that? Are you crazy? Is that really how you want to set your life up as a Marine? Your life is already hard enough. You don't have to account for yourself. You also have all these people underneath you counting on you. They're counting on you to be your best. So by you making that stupid decision, I'm going to have to freaking charge you for it. And that leads into number 2. You may have settled down with a woman with a personality disorder. And this is what I mean by that. So rest in peace to Dana Alotaibi. But this woman was crazy. She was actually crazy. All right. Like sometimes she was crying for help, and then other times she was moving crazier than a James Bond villain. So for example, in this video, she is upset at the fact that, you know, she is basically getting kicked out of base housing, or she's getting kicked out of wherever she is, and the husband didn't tell her about it. I believe they were separated at the time. He didn't let her know, which is another that's the 5th count of cowardice, to be honest. Like, at least get this woman off, you know, make it a clean break. Make it a clean break. That's what people in the military are notoriously terrible at. Once you realize that you don't want that relationship anymore, make it a clean break. Stop dicking around. And you know why they dick around? That BAH. That BAH hits a little different. They don't want to go back to the barracks, so they stay in these toxic relationships for longer than they need to. And they just it's just one big cycle, one big cesspool of toxicity. And they're doing this because they don't want to go back to their barracks room, or they don't want to go back to their squad bay. And they're just sacrificing their entire lives while doing that. I say that this woman is crazy because you'll have a video like this where it's like, dang, man, you feel for this chick. She's going through some stuff, you know what I'm saying? But then she, in the next post or a couple next posts, will basically, I don't want to say troll or taunt, but it's trolling or taunting this dude. Like this one right here. That goes back into last video where I was talking about how you need to have a little bit of situational awareness as a woman in general, as a man in general in 2022, but especially as a sex worker, if you've made a lot of enemies. And if you have somebody who is experiencing a crap load of pain on one end and then they come out extremely malicious on the other, I'm willing to guarantee that she had something going on up here. A little off. I had one of the people that left a comment in the last video. Shout out to Mrs. JEB. She says it's pretty evident that she was on something. She seems impaired by benzos. I had a roommate who abused Xanax, and Dana's slurring and erratic behavior is spot on. She isn't being flighty. She is slurring her words. Very sad. Rest in peace. And I was like, well, how can we conclude that every erratic person is on benzos? And then JEB, she's done a little bit more research too. She said she mentioned Xanax in other videos. My background is psychology. She seems to have historic personality disorder. Of course, she's not licensed or anything like that, but she knows a little bit more on this topic than I do, and I'm willing to admit that. And I never thought of that. So thank you for leaving that comment to bring that perspective to me. So it could have been histrionic personality disorder. It could have been borderline personality disorder, which may explain her confronting his new girlfriend a week before he died. Ladies and gentlemen, we're starting to put things together. We're starting to put things together on this channel. I'm gonna bring it to you first. I didn't even know that she confronted the husband's new girlfriend a week before she passed. Maybe that could have played into what happened. And you know what? That's just so, it's icky, man. Early first termer military marriages are so icky. They usually end in freaking train wrecks. Rest in peace to Dana. They don't usually end this badly, but from what I've seen, most of them end badly. Most of them end very badly because you have a man who is not used to getting women. He's not used to getting women like that because he's living in his barracks room. He comes across a woman, no matter who she is, and he's like, you know what? I'm so in love. But that feeling of love has kind of been fostered by his extreme want to get out of the barracks and his extreme want to make more money, because you make more money once you get married in the military. If you've ever wondered why military guys will meet a chick and then 3 weeks later he's talking about marriage, it's because he's trying to get a place to live. He's trying to get out of the barracks. He's trying to stop doing field day on Thursdays, when he doesn't realize you can have a couple field days on Thursday, one day make it into that late sergeant, that buck sergeant, or that staff NCO that gets BAH on his own. You can do that, or you can really set yourself up for a life of hell by marrying somebody that you didn't really love like that, or marrying somebody for any other reason besides loving them for the rest of your life. You can really jack your life up that way. I've seen it happen so many freaking times, man. Here's a video titled Military Spouse Hawaii Help, revealing, I guess, her softer side. She's saying she needs help and stuff like that. But then at the same time, she's pissing off a lot of freaking people. She's kind of burning a lot of bridges. And she's going back and forth between, just really needing help and being really malicious. And I really think that has to do with whatever she had going on upstairs. And number 3, apparently, Mr. Castillo, according to Dana's TikToks and her YouTube channel, apparently he still uses Tinder in 2022. This is a literal cesspool filled with bait and switch techniques, low morality women, and chlamydia. I don't understand it. We have Donna Alotaibi here with her TikToks explaining that, I don't know, they both got Tinder and stuff like that, and they both started wilding out or something. That's just toxic, just gross. We got to get out of here. So not only was Mr. Castillo stupid enough to use Tinder, but he's stupid enough to use Tinder while still being legally married. So not only are you shooting fish in this diseased, rotten barrel, but you're giving your woman proof of you doing so. What an idiot. What a dummy. Well, he may be found guilty of being a dumbass. And you know what? My final accusation is a second-degree charge of letting society dictate your life. Matt, let me get my never know when you have to put this on if you say the truth in today's society. So your second-degree charge of letting society dictate your life is based on the fact that, you know what, most men don't want to date sex workers. I'm going to say that here. We're going to say it here. We're going to say it first. Because on this channel, we're going to stay based in reality. Most men, let me clarify, most men don't want their woman revealing her private parts and all this other stuff online. And you, Mr. Castillo, have been tricked by society into thinking that you could handle that type of thing. This woman, whatever you may think of her, she was honest enough to let you know who she was before you married her. And you letting society control you and confuse you and all this stuff, you think that, oh yeah, I have no problem with my woman, being a sex worker and doing all this other stuff. I have no problem with that. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. You literally let society dictate your life. And once again, that's the problem that I do have with society. If you're going to be a sex worker, be a sex worker. That's your thing. I'm not going to stop you. You do whatever the freak you want to do. The truth of the matter is that most men don't want to actually date sex workers seriously. I know you're up in arms. That's why I had to put the cry on. But here on this channel, once again, we're going to stay based in reality. Most men don't want their women having sex with other men. They don't want their women revealing their private parts online. They don't want their women dancing on other dudes. You can call them insecure all you want to. It has not been until very recently in the entire existence of human beings that men are expected to be, oh, I'm cool. My woman's just able to do whatever the hell she wants and I'm not insecure, right? No, you're a dumbass. You're actually a dumbass. If you truly feel that way, if you truly are cool with your woman doing that, hey, that's cool. You do your thing. You do your thing. This is not me talking to you right here, right now. But I'm talking to these weak men that know they want a certain type of lifestyle, but instead they will hang on to the first piece of tail that they get, or they let society trick them into believing that they want a woman who shows her private parts online or has a certain lifestyle instead of making his own decisions for his own life. See, what you're doing, weak men, is that you're confusing all of society. So men will be like, oh, where are all the good girls? Where are the good girls at? There are no good girls left. But at the same time, on your Instagram, all you're doing is liking pictures of the type of women that you say you would never date in the first place. Or you're giving those women all your time, money, and attention while the supposed good girls are too boring for you. The truth is, most men want to fuck sex workers. They want to fuck these strippers and stuff like that, but they don't actually want to date them. And this dude is having this internal struggle of trying to live a life that he didn't really want, that he doesn't really believe in. but he's living it anyways. That is dangerous, because a man that is living a life that he doesn't really believe that he owns, if he's living a life that he doesn't truly believe in, he is more likely to sacrifice everything. He's more likely to sacrifice that life and the lives of people around him, because he's been living a lie. He's been living a lie. He's been telling himself all these lies all this time, and then after a while it just pops. And it's all due to weak men. It has always been weak men. Strong men, if my woman is on TikTok going crazy, it's cool. It is what it is. I'm going to leave you, and I'm not afraid to leave you. As a matter of fact, I'll probably, have a smile on my face. You cheat on me, I'm going to freaking go in and I'll dap the dude up like, hey, thank you for taking this bitch off my shoulders. Damn, I'm a free man. I'm off the plantation again. Shoot, I was getting tired of her nagging and her wanting to watch Bachelor and stuff like that. Like that's what a G does. A G is not going to throw away his entire life for a woman that doesn't respect him. And a G is not going to live a life that he doesn't really believe in. Those are very dangerous men. Weak men are dangerous men. I can't stand them. They just have a certain stink about them. Mr. Castillo, this channel finds you guilty. It finds you guilty of being a coward. It finds you guilty of being a dumbass. And it finds you guilty of letting society tell you how to live your life when you obviously didn't want to live it that way anyways. Freaking dummy. Jesus Christ. Weak men will continue to destroy society. They'll continue to harm women, harm girls and stuff like that. You can't trust them. As long as we stay detached from reality, and we're not honest with ourselves, weak men are going to continue to deteriorate the society that we do have. That includes the military all the way down. If Castillo was a stronger and a more honorable man, I believe this situation would have never happened. This has been a video for the men, but let me make my main points very clear. Number one, don't be a freaking coward. Don't put your hands on your woman. Don't let your relationship spiral out of control where you're having multiple domestic disputes and other people are having to come in and save your ass and whatever's happening. Don't do that. Don't be a coward. Leave a relationship when it's time to leave a relationship. There are plenty of fish in the sea. There's no point in you going on a temper tantrum, in rage, taking a woman's life all because she hurt your little feelings. I don't care what she did, dude. I don't care what she did. The worst she can do is sleep with another dude. And at the end of the day, you can still laugh at that in about 5 years or 5 days, depending on what kind of gut you have. Damn, don't ruin your life. Don't by being a coward, Number two, don't be a dumbass. Do not be a dumbass. If you don't have the stomach to date a stripper or date a sex worker or something like that, or you don't have the stomach to date a woman who obviously doesn't respect you that much off the bat, then don't do it. Don't do it. Just don't be stupid. Don't be an idiot. Get off of Tinder. Get off of Tinder. Jesus Christ, when are you guys going to stop getting catfished on Tinder? And you sure as hell don't need to be using Tinder if you're still legally married. My final point number 3, stop letting society dictate the way that you're going to live your life. If you are living a life that you do not truly believe in, you are going to be much more likely to throw that life away or possibly even take lives of people that are around you. Guys, I'm not even trying to be funny at this point. I really need you to speak to your junior Marines. I really need you to sit them down, and I know you can say, oh, don't get this car at 16% APR. Oh, don't do this right here. Don't drink and drive. Actually, go in a little detail, man. Go in a little detail and let them know that you've seen people ruin their lives. You've seen people ruin their lives. I'm sick and tired of these junior Marines and just these young women. I'm sick and tired of all the pain in the world, to be honest. I'm getting sick and tired of all these people experiencing pain, which I believe that could have been avoided. It could have been largely avoided. Rest in peace to Donna Alotaibi. This may be the last time I cover her videos or cover her scenario. We got to get back into motivating some souls. We got to get something else going on. So let's let this topic go unless John S. comes up in the comments again saying how he doesn't understand the points or anything like that. We're not going to make fun of him. We're not going to do that right here, right now, but we are going to pray for this dude. I'm on a tear. I feel good. I love you guys. I appreciate you watching. And until next time, you take it easy. Peace.